All right, we're live. We're doing this. I think right now, because I'm talking, you can only see me, but I am not all alone. It's just the nature of the way Zoom works. So welcome to Activate Thursday. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're glad you're here. My name is Jesse Allen. I'm the Senior Vice President of Marketing here at LifeVantage. And with me, who I don't think you can see yet, is Lisa.
They can see me if that's the case.
Yeah,
just so you know, my view, I can see you. So
well, I know you can see me, but when these things are actually running, like they can
is it
only
going
see,
back and forth?
yeah, they can only see who's talking. So
Okay. Well, there
you
you
and
go.
I can see each
I'll
other.
make some noise so you can see me. So I'm Lisa Barnes, and I'm the Vice President of Research and Development at LifeVantage.
Yeah, yep. Thank you. Thanks for being here, Lisa. And everybody, thanks for joining us wherever you are. We're glad you're here. We do this every 2 weeks on a Thursday evening. For those of you that have been with LifeVantage for a while, some of our consultants that are out there, you're familiar with that. But we recognize that we have a lot of individuals that have been invited here from their friends that happen to be consultants, or maybe a family member, and this is your first experience with LifeVantage. Maybe you're here to understand a little bit more about our products or who we are and what we're about. And our focus today is going to be on products. So we're glad you're here and willing to join us. And we recognize, I think I say this every time, we recognize that you've got so many other options of things that you could be doing tonight. And the fact that you chose to join us, we don't take that for granted, and we don't take it lightly. So thank you. We invite you to be engaged and part of this conversation. So as we're talking and presenting, please ask your questions, put comments. If you feel that this content is worthwhile, tag a friend in the comment thread below, and they'll be able to have access and see this video as well. And so anyways, all of that, thank you for joining. Earlier this month, we had announced that this particular episode would be focused on Protandim NAD Synergizer. It's one of our key products, and one that we're very proud of. And what we were going to do is we were going to talk about some of the research on that product, and we had lined up and have lined up actually some people outside of the company that have been instrumental in the development of that product. But we're calling an audit. We're making a pivot. Yeah, if you didn't see Lisa, could you say something and do that again?
Okay, pivot. There you go.
There you go. Well done. Well done. So we're pivoting just a little bit, and we have a few things running in the organization right now as we close out the month of June that involve our two flagship products, the products that we are most known for, the products that I can make an argument are most impactful on the lives around the world. It is our Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, our original product, and TrueScience Liquid Collagen, a product that launched almost exactly 1 year ago today and has had just a significant impact here in the United States. It was recently launched earlier this calendar year in Australia, New Zealand, and Japan, and has had equally impressive results down there, both from a business standpoint, but more importantly, the impact that it's having on the health and lives of individuals around the world and now in those markets. So we're going to talk about those two products. And I say we, and I'm very generous in saying we, because I am going to be quiet the most of the time and maybe ask a few questions. And Lisa, who is the expert and actually knows what these things are doing, is the one that's going to talk about it. But let's do this. For those of you that are new to LifeVantage or new-ish, we refer to ourselves as the activation company. And we've got a fun mantra that we are the activation nation, and it's fun and it's cute and it's an easy way to recognize who we are. But sometimes we don't quite understand what that actually means and what activation is. So let's put a definition to it so that those of you that are new understand what we mean by activation, because it is what separates LifeVantage from every other dietary supplement, consumer good product out on the market today. It is what makes us different and what makes us unique and what makes us special. So, Lisa, help us
Yes.
out. What is, in your words, activation?
Well, first, what I'll do is I'll say what activation is and our kind of what we've agreed on as the definition, because we have talked about activation in many ways, but we've put some words to it just to have some continuity. And we say that activation ignites your ability to create powerful health. But then to put it a little bit more in my words, activation involves tapping into your body's processes and systems that have slowed down, that may be from age or from stress or from other factors. And it allows them to return to a more efficient and youthful state. And so you may ask, okay, well, why do I need activation? But as your body ages, or once again, as you're faced with stress, your body's systems, your organs, your tissues, your cells, they all slow down and stop working as efficiently as when you were younger or before you faced that stress. So as a result, you may actually feel older than your actual age that's down on paper, that may be on your driver's license or birth certificate.
Let me interrupt really quick and
Go
just
ahead.
let's distill this even a little bit more. You say stress. I want to make sure, that that's absolutely clear when you say stress, because we're not talking about like I'm stressed out because I'm anxious. Maybe we are, but we're talking about something else as well. So
yeah, we're talking about oxidative stress.
okay.
And oxidative stress comes from many sources. It comes from our diet and what we're eating. It's coming from breathing the air that we're breathing. It comes from exercise. I mean, everything that surrounds us causes oxidative stress to our body, which then generates free radicals, which can cause damage. Now, this is completely normal. We're always going to face oxidative stress. But the problem comes when there's so much oxidative stress that our body cannot combat it. And then we just have this buildup of free radicals, which are kind of running rampant in our bodies, causing damages to all of these systems, causing them to not work as efficiently as they did in the past. And that's one of the things, kind of transitioning a little bit, that made Nerf2, so our Protandim Nerf2 synergizer, so powerful, is that one of the things that we need in our body, that our body does to combat free radicals, is it generates antioxidants, which actually neutralize those free radicals and prevent the damage that they cause. But as we have our free radicals increase because our oxidative stress increases, and as we get older and our systems slow down, so our antioxidant production slows down, we just have two systems that are working against each other, causing more and more damage. So we know that we're never going to be able to remove all of our stress sources. I have 3 kids. I don't always I try to eat the best I can. I try to exercise the best I can. I try to do everything I can, but I'm never going to be perfect. None of you are. And so what can we do? We can really help our body do its best. And how Nerf2 does that is by helping to activate your body's own antioxidant system so that you're able to combat the free radicals that are generated. And so it's not just supplementing with antioxidants, it's actually working with your body systems that have slowed down, so that definition of activation, and causing them to work more efficiently. So you're generating more antioxidants. So you have more people, more things in the fight against these free radicals.
Yeah. And maybe you're right. I would invite anybody that's watching, just a simple Google search of implications of oxidative stress.
Yeah.
Right? Just Google it and read for yourself what oxidative stress is and what it does to your body. It'll be eye-opening when we talk about health and optimizing our health and maximizing our wellness and well-being. One of the primary deterrents of that is oxidative stress, and you'll recognize with a simple Google search just how important that is. It's really remarkable. Like as you were talking, like our body is what we as in general in our body, we face insults all day long on a daily basis, right? You made the mention of as simple as just the air we breathe. There's a byproduct that ultimately impacts us negatively if the body is out of balance or out of whack. The food that we eat, the water that we drink, the stress that we put on our body from exercise, all of these things that are good, left unchecked can have a negative impact on our overall health and well-being. And the result of that is what we typically associate with aging. And we just kind of just say, well, that's how it is. That's what happens. And as I get older in years, my body just starts to slow down and
You just accept it and think that this is just inevitable instead
yeah.
of thinking, oh, I can keep aging and keep getting a higher age on paper, but I can continue to feel amazing and being able to perform top notch and to the best of my abilities and be able to, if you want to go fly fishing, you want to go run, you want to do this, you want to still be able to do that. And so we don't have to accept the fact that we're just going to deteriorate.
Yeah, that's what I think is so remarkable. And I think that's that really kind of that light bulb aha moment for so many people when they're introduced to LifeVantage, is that the body inherently within the body, it has the capacity and the ability to ward off oxidative stress and to deal with these free radicals. But over time, that the body's inherent or innate ability to do that slows, diminishes. And what we do with Protandim Nerve 2 is we activate or turn on that body's natural system to address free radicals and free radical damage and to balance it out. One of the statistics that is often quoted is that Protandim NRF2 reduces oxidative stress on average of 40% in 30 days. That is remarkable.
No, it is fantastic. And also the fact that Protandim Nerve 2 is backed by over 30 independent studies. And it's by institutions like Harvard, Ohio State, the American Journal of Physiology, and others. And so you don't just have to take our word for it. I mean, we're pretty trustworthy individuals, but you can go and, like Jesse said earlier, you can Google and just see these independent publications and you can read them for yourself. I mean, that'll be some very light bedtime reading, but you can see the studies that have been done, not by us, independently showing this mechanism of action and the impacts of this product because of its lowering of oxidative stress.
Yeah. Yeah, Lisa and I were in a conversation earlier this week with a few visitors that had come to the office, and one of the questions that they asked was, and they weren't even asking specifically about our product line, although it was primarily around our product line, but the question was, of all of these products and everything that's out on the market, what's the most important thing for someone to be using? What it should everybody be using? The question, it's a great question. It's a little complicated to ask because everybody is unique. Their environment is different. Their diets are different. Their exercise level activity is different. Their water consumption is different. But despite all of that, the one thing that we know is that every single human on this planet is impacted negatively at some point in their life by oxidative stress. Everyone. And everyone can benefit from reducing the free radicals and the damage that comes as a result of having those scavenger molecules in the body. And that is exactly what Nerve 2 does, is that it addresses through the body's own innate ability to neutralize or to detect and neutralize those free radicals to minimize the damage that comes from oxidative stress.
Exactly.
Everybody can benefit from that. And so, what's the most important product that somebody can take? I think there's an easy and valid argument that Protandim Nerve 2 Synergizer is the product that everyone,
that cornerstone.
Yeah, everyone can benefit from, and that everyone, despite where you live, can benefit from that product.
Well, and one thing I love about Nerve 2 as well is that the more we test it in combination with other products that we have in our product line, the more we see these beautiful synergies as well. So I think that supports it being the cornerstone that you add other products on top of, and you see these heightened benefits, these synergistic benefits. We've seen synergy with our Protandim NRF1 and NAD product, the NAD you mentioned earlier. We call the three products together TrueScience, And the reason we love selling these three products together is not just because they cover three pathways of aging. So you have oxidative stress, you have mitochondrial health, and you also have sirtuin health. But when you put these three together, all of the pathways are synergistically upregulated and activated. And we actually just got a patent not too long ago. I mean, it's still fresh, so I still get excited about it because it showed that the three products together had this unexpected effect that was patent worthy. And so that's one of the things I love about Nerve2 is its interaction with other products. Also our AM and PM, so our multivitamin system, where we have both your nutrients you need in the AM and the PM. We've seen that in combination with Nerve2, we see those synergistic benefits because those micronutrients feed into the active and help support the activation of Nerve2. So if you have Nerve2 as your cornerstone and then you start adding in our other products, the benefits just multiply.
Yeah, it's really, really remarkable. You talked about synergies and a number of things, and we're going to get a little more specific or granular on some of the synergies, specifically with TrueScience Liquid Collagen, one of our most recent products that we've launched. But let's talk a little bit about, let's shift the conversation, if you will, and talk a little bit about collagen. And maybe, you know, you for those of you that are new and aren't as familiar with Lisa, she's spent her entire career in R&D, primarily in personal care.
Exactly, the skincare, hair care, all of those pieces.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of collagens.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was actually just in Japan a few weeks ago, and I was telling them, I was like, I've been in this industry a long time. I've tried a lot of collagens. I've heard a lot of collagen stories. So actually, when I was coming to LifeVantage and I heard they had a collagen, I kind of dismissed it offhand, which is like, okay, they have a collagen like everyone else. I was more interested in when I started with Nerve2, because I was like, that's more unique. But then the benefit of joining the company and then getting to the peek behind the curtain and seeing everything and just spending more time with the company is I learned how unique it is and what the approach is that's so different from everyone else. Because everyone else in the market, you're supplementing with collagen. It could be fish collagen, it could be bovine collagen. They all have their pros and cons with their different makeups of amino acids and types of collagen that they represent, but they're supplements. It's good. You are losing collagen as you're getting older, and collagen is one of the most abundant proteins in your body that's found in all of your different systems. I mean, we think about it a lot with our skin, but it's found throughout our entire body. And so you lose it, you supplement it, okay, you see some benefits. But what makes our product, our TrueScience Liquid Collagen, so unique is that we not only supplement, we're actually activating, replenishing, and maintaining. And what I mean by that is we're activating collagen production. So we're actually activating a gene called 1A that then leads to the generation of collagen in cells called fibroblasts. And we've seen an increase of collagen density by 100% in fibroblasts. There's a cool little fluorescent image that we have compared to the placebo, where you see a fibroblast and you see its nucleus. And collagen is represented by green fluorescence. That's how they kind of quantify it. And so when you look at the placebo, you see the fibroblast, you see the nucleus, and then you see maybe like 2 spots of green fluorescence. Not very much collagen is being generated. And then you see with our product, and you just see this field of green fluorescence in that fibroblast. And it's just incredible how it activates collagen. Then you go to replenish, and that's where you're adding in your collagen. So that's your supplementation piece. And we use fish collagen because it has 10 different types of hydrolyzed collagen peptides. The form of them is incredibly important because we need to make sure that the collagen that you're receiving is bioavailable for your body. And the molecular weight of your collagen is incredibly important in how your body actually incorporates it. Because if it's too large, your body has to go through a lot to be able to break it down into pieces that it can use. However, if we put it already, if you take it when it's in those right pieces, so that those hydrolyzed, so just essentially slices of the collagen peptide, your body can more easily intake it and you can see quicker results. And then the third part, well, do you have a question before we move on to the third part?
Yeah, like, and I hesitate to ask this question because I don't want to create a narrative that's incorrect. But like when we talk about hydrolyzed collagen and the fact that it's chopped up so that it's more bioavailable, like in my mind, I think of this concept of it's pre-digested so that it's
Yes.
easy. Is that an accurate way
Yes,
to?
that is an accurate, and that's actually one of my favorite analogies to talk about bioavailability is if you think of mother bird and a baby bird, and you don't see a mother bird bringing over to the new baby bird, a worm and just sticking it down in the baby's throat because the baby can't digest it. So the mother takes the worm, it pre-digests it, and then it feeds the baby the pre-digested worm so that or whatever the food is, so that the baby can get the nutrients it needs. And your body's the same way. It needs its nutrients in a form that it can recognize and it can incorporate. And that's what bioavailability is. And that's what hydrolyzed collagen is. It's in a form that's pre-digested so that it's primed for your body to uptake it efficiently.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned this briefly. Our collagen source is a marine source.
Correct.
Yeah, and this is more just opinion. Right, because there's bovine, there's porcine, there's marine, obviously chicken.
Yes.
Why marine, in your opinion?
I mean, the reason we chose marine is because of the profile of collagen that it had. It wasn't just one type of collagen, it was 10 types of collagen because your body the majority of it is collagen 1, but there are multiple types of collagen that it needs. And so we're providing it with kind of this buffet of collagen so that it's able to uptake what it needs. And so it's more broad than some of the other sources of collagen that are out there. And they all have good purposes. They may be used for different things, but this allows for a very broad profile. So there's a wider benefit seen, in my opinion.
Yeah. A minute ago, you mentioned in some of our testing, we have identified as far as activation, an increase in collagen density by 100%. And some of our viewers that have been with us for a while, that number is a little bit different, right? I think their condition hearing 42%, and now we're saying 100. Help us just clarify that
Definitely.
difference.
So the way that we measure everything is that first we look at gene expression, and that's where your 42% comes in. We see with using one of our key ingredients that's in our collagen overhead, quinoa, you see an increase of the COL1A gene that leads to collagen. So it helps to activate collagen by 42%. So when you activate that by 42%, you see an 100% increase in actual collagen protein generated by the fibroblasts. So we're essentially, it's two numbers, but they're just along the same pathway, different parts of the pathway, which it's very important to me because you are not only showing you activate a gene, which is fantastic, but you're showing the end result to prove that you're actually impacting what you were hoping to impact.
So the gene was upregulated by 42%, which results in an increase in collagen density of 100%.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
Remarkable.
I know, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. So much more than just adding back in collagen. It's working with your body's natural systems once again, because we know that as you get older, your collagen kind of degenerates. And if you think of, so we'll think specifically of skin. If you think of your skin kind of as like a pillow top mattress, you have the pillow top part of it, the really soft part is your epidermis. And then underneath the actual mattress, the springs and all the kind of support material is like your dermis. And so as you get older, your collagen starts degrading, your elastin starts degrading, and you start losing that foundation. So it's like, one of my presentations, I have this picture of the grossest mattress. It's like what you would see like in a college dorm where it's like malformed and just like sunken in. But honestly, as you're getting older, that's what your skin is doing. You're losing that foundation and you're getting areas where you're getting uneven tone because you're not having that structure underneath to keep your skin even and smooth. So you're getting those lines and wrinkles.
Yeah.
And so with increasing your collagen, it's like you're building back in your springs of your mattress so that you can have that nice, beautiful mattress instead of the gross one that you would have in college.
Yeah.
That like leaves you where you wake up and your back is incredibly sore because you just were sunken in a weird position.
Yeah. Well, now that we've all got that visual,
I
no, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad.
Oh, the picture was worse, so it's good I just described it with words. I
Yeah,
could
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it proves the point, and it drives the point home, of what's happening with the skin. I don't think that it can be understated, or said enough. Our product, right? Our TrueScience liquid collagen is literally activating the body's natural production of collagen, and it's
correct.
increasing that collagen density by 100%. That's absolutely remarkable.
It
Uh,
is.
and the benefits that consumers talk about, and that they, right? There's obviously the surface level, right? The smoothing of fine lines or the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, the clarity of the skin, the texture and tone of their skin, and that's right, just in the face. But then they talk about, right, their joints are feeling better, and we've seen smoothed out in the neck and the legs and arms, and it's really, really remarkable, and it's so fun, right? And I think you and I are very similar in this way, to spend so much time working on a product, and then to see it have a positive, meaningful impact on a person's life is really, really rewarding. It's really fun. You mentioned it just a minute ago, but maybe just talk a little bit about ruby quinoa. That's one of the key ingredients that's in the formula. Why is it there, and what is it doing?
Yeah, so it's the ingredient that we have a lot of our collagen studies on. So it's in there to help increase collagen density. And it also is in there, and this is the part of the activate, replenish, maintain that I didn't get to, was the maintain piece. And what maintain means is that we're actually lowering the activation of a gene, MMP9, that encodes for an enzyme that breaks down collagen. And so beauty of red quinoa and this ruby quinoa is that it not only increases collagen density by activating all of these genes, and there's other structural proteins that it impacts as well. You have keratin, so that makes up your hair, skin, and nails. There's multiple types of keratins. It actually activates antioxidants as well. It's very powerful, but it's also kind of downregulating these genes and these enzymes that would break down collagen. So increasing and not breaking down as much so that you keep the collagen that you have. And so that's why we wanted to add it in on top of our marine source of collagen, because it covers much more than supplementation. And another piece of our formula as well that we don't talk about as much is our blueberry citrus blend. And they are added in there because they also synergistically, so when they're put together, activate collagen as well. So we have two ingredients activating collagen, and then the quinoa takes that extra step to help maintain collagen as well.
So let me ask a question.
Yeah.
MMP9, right? It
Yes.
breaks down collagen.
Yes.
I think the first question that people have is, why is there an enzyme in the body that breaks down my collagen? Why?
Yes,
why
and it actually is important because once again, the body is a system of balances. When a protein is damaged, it needs to be broken down and cleaned out. And so that system is incredibly important. So that's where these enzymes come in, is that if something's not working right, it needs to get rid of it. So hopefully you can generate more. But what we don't want is for it to be activated too much and breaking down collagen continuously. So what we want to do is generate more healthy collagen. So first of all, it wouldn't be broken down. There wouldn't be any signals to be broken down by this MMP9, but we also want to keep MMP9 from being too active and breaking down too much collagen. But we don't want to completely, that's why we don't want to stop the production of MMP9 because we don't want to interfere with the body's natural cleanup systems. So you said earlier, it's all about balance. And so we just want to keep your body systems in balance instead of tilted one way or the other so that we're getting too much breaking down and then getting that effect of sunken in wrinkles, etc.
Yeah. Here's a question. I don't know the answer to this.
Go for it. I'm used to it.
Yeah. And I might just not, this might just be me not understanding things correctly. I think I understand that over time and with age, the fibroblast cells production of collagen begins to diminish and just slows down, right? Is it fair to say, does MMP9 and is it increasing over age as well? Like, is it starting to break down collagen more rapidly as you age?
Yes.
Okay, so those two are really acting in opposite of what we want. Collagen, the production.
You want to bring it back down to a balance. So you have a healthy clean out of those that may, because you're still going to have damaged collagen, damaged proteins. They still need to be cleaned out. But we want it, instead of lower heightened, we want it brought more into balance so that they're more partners instead of fighting against each other.
Yeah, remarkable. That understanding goes to show just how intelligent this formula is, or the approach to this formula to really increase production, replenish, and also slow down the destruction of collagen that you have, but to do it in a healthy way rather than just to try to eliminate the enzyme altogether. Okay. For some of those that are watching, we have already announced that we've done a study on these two products together. We looked at Protandim Nerve2 Synergizer and TrueScience Liquid Collagen, and to try to detect any synergies between the two products and how they interact with one another. Just a couple of things. That study and the results of those studies, that we have an event coming up, an online or a virtual event coming up on the 22nd of July. That's the Saturday. For anyone that's watching, our consultants, if you haven't registered to attend that, I would encourage and recommend that you register. If you're not part of LifeVantage, but would like to understand more about who we are and what we're about, you can absolutely attend that as well.
Good opportunity.
Talk to whomever invited you to watch this tonight, and find out how they are watching. Maybe get together with them and stream it and watch it online together, or they can help you figure out how to come to that event. Come to the event. It's virtual. At that event, there's a number of things that we will be announcing, but the results of this study will be one of those announcements, and we're going to walk through it on that Saturday morning, kind of at a high level, right? We're not going to go in deep. We're just going to talk high level, and some of the problems that we face, that the body faces from natural exposure to everything, and then what these two products in synergy or in concert with one another do to help and improve the overall wellness of your body. We're going to do that at a high level. And then the following Thursday, that would be July 27th, we're going to do something very similar to what we're doing tonight, but we're going to take a deep dive into that study. And again, I use the word we very loosely. Lisa is going to take a deep dive into that study and what she and our R&D team learned about just how remarkable these two products are together. But let's give a little precursor, what the appetite a bit, if you will.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So essentially what we've been hearing since we've launched liquid collagen is we have folks that have been on Nerf2, and then they've added liquid collagen to their regimen. And we keep hearing all these stories. I mean, we've seen some fantastic before and after photos. That's kind of, we weren't expecting how great they would be, but we were expecting visual differences based on how the formula worked. But what we weren't expecting were all of these stories of testimonials beyond skin benefits. We've heard gut, joint, mental clarity. We've heard it all with these two. And when you hear it enough times, your science brain is going, there's a reason for this. And we had some hypotheses of maybe There's some complementary mechanisms there. I mean, you have NRF2 working on oxidative stress, and your free radicals generated by oxidative stress would break down collagen. So there's some, like, it would make sense that we'd see some nice benefits together, but we really wanted to understand it. And so essentially what we decided to do was something called RNA sequencing. And I'm not going to go too much into what that is today, but essentially you look at a cell type and you look at the entire genome. So that's every gene that's expressed in the cell type. And you get this, when you do the test, you get 14,000 plus rows of data of every gene. So is it upregulated? Is it downregulated? Is it significant? Is it not? And it also, through different computer software, we can then group all those genes into pathways. So no longer are you just looking at individual genes, you see how they're all connected in a narrative and how they're all working together, which is incredibly exciting. So we chose this approach because we wanted to be a little bit surprised. We wanted to see everything that was going on in the cell types to really understand why these products were working so well together. And when we were looking at what cell type we wanted to choose, we chose fibroblasts. And I mentioned it very briefly earlier. And because some of the collagen studies were done with liquid collagen and ruby quinoa were done in fibroblast cells. Now, fibroblasts are found throughout the body, and their primary role is to provide support and structure to tissues throughout the body. And that's key, tissues and connective tissues throughout the body. And it looks different in different parts of the body. Now with liquid collagen, we've been just focusing on skin, so our dermal fibroblasts, but they're really located everywhere. And so that's why we chose them as our molecule, our cell type to test in, because we knew that if we saw gene activation in the cell type, we could think beyond skin, we could think to gut, we could think to joints, we could think to heart tissue, we could think to all the different connective tissues that fibroblasts would be found in, which made it the perfect cell type to perform this study in. I'm not going to go too much into what the details are, but NRF2 performed beautifully, just as expected. Fantastic activation of NRF2 pathways. And when we do the deep dive, we're going to have some nice statistics for you of how many genes were activated in those pathways significantly. It's amazing. Liquid collagen, we saw some of what we expected, structural proteins, collagen, all those pathways. But then we started seeing some genes associated with the body's stress response, which was incredibly interesting. But what was even better was when we put the two together, there was this huge jump in the expression, synergistic jump, significant jump in genes associated with the body's response to stress, which was completely unexpected, and it impacts every system throughout the body, and it's a game changer. I am not exaggerating that when we got the results back and started looking at the top genes that were affected by this combination, we started going down the hall to all the different offices, telling people that we've got something. Like, whenever you do a test or a study, you do your best with hypotheses to kind of figure out what will come from it, but you always are kind of crossing your fingers a little bit for how the results are going to come back. And when these came back, it was a, and then it was a woo, because it was, we've got a lot to do now because this is amazing. And we need to now figure out how to talk about this. And we need to start working on a patent because this is patent worthy. So that's what we've been doing these last few months, is deep dives into genes. And Christina on my team has been instrumental. She's like locked herself in a room looking at like lines and lines of data. Yesterday, she said her eyes were crossing because she's working on a paper on this that will be available eventually to everybody. And I was like, okay, you need to take a break from looking at all these rows and rows of data. But it's been so surprising, so game changing, and it explains so much of the beyond skin testimonials that we've received from individual after individual.
Well, that is a great teaser preview of what's to come. We would certainly invite everybody to make sure you're in attendance at Activate on July 22nd. That's a Saturday, and then join us again here on Thursday, July 27th, as Lisa takes a deep dive into this. And maybe a little homework or something that you can do in anticipation and moving towards those two events. A little research on fibroblasts. When you understand the fibroblast cell, that it's not just in your skin, but all connective tissue. So think your gut lining, your joints, your heart, your lung, everywhere.
Right.
And maybe some research on what would occur if we were to upregulate the activity or the production of the fibroblast cell, and what that means for you and your health. Fair? Is that fair homework? Fair homework?
Yes, yes. Get to know fibroblasts. They're going to be your friends, and understand the role they play in the body, because at the event, we're going to go into, like Desi said, it'll be kind of a more broad overview, but you'll understand the implications of the study and really how that impacts you. And then definitely tune in the next week when we do our Activate Thursday. And then you can take that broader framework and understanding, and we'll just go a little bit more below the surface so that you can understand it even better. So we're going to kind of take the slow approach to it, because we don't want to completely overwhelm you with everything. And which is completely what we did to our teams here when we first got the data. We're like, here's these genes. And they're like, okay, what are those genes? So we're going to really walk you through it so that you can feel incredibly confident and as excited as we are about these studies results.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Lisa, great explanation of Protandim Nerf2 Synergizer, of TrueScience Liquid Collagen, and the precursor of, or the preview, I guess it's more correct word, of the synergies between those two products.
I hope you can feel and hear and see the enthusiasm that we have for both these products, and then these products together. I mean, this is not manufactured excitement. We genuinely love these products and think the world of them, and the results are truly remarkable.
Yeah, they really are. They are remarkable. Anyways, with that, for all of you that have joined us, thank you for joining and for your comments and questions. Lisa and myself will jump in and answer each of those questions following this. And if we're not able to, well, if I'm not able to answer it, I'll make sure that Lisa or somebody else from our R&D or team gets those questions answered. We appreciate your attendance, appreciate you joining us. Hopefully this was worthwhile. Lisa, anything we missed that we should have covered?
I think I talked a ton and covered a ton, so I'm feeling very confident that they got everything they need and they're ready to jump in for that July event.
Perfect. Well, thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Again, if you're new, and if you're new to LifeVantage or still are not part of, you're not a consultant or a customer, we welcome you. The fact that you're watching says a lot about you, and you're in the right place. If that's the case and you haven't experienced our products, I'd encourage you to talk to whoever invited you to be here tonight. Ask them for a sample of liquid collagen. One, it's delicious.
Yeah, I didn't even mention that piece. That was one of the big reasons why I love liquid collagen that we didn't even get to. We got too excited about the science.
Yeah, it's delicious and something that you look forward to drinking every day because it's delicious. But when you understand what it's actually doing, you look forward to it even more because it's that impactful and remarkable for your overall health. So anyways, thanks for joining us this evening. As mentioned, we're going to be back here in 2 weeks. We do this every 2 weeks, right in this same channel. For those of you that are watching, tag your friends. You can share this video right from this page with whomever you'd like. We'll be here in 2 weeks, and then mark your calendar for the 27th. That's where we go a deep dive into the collagen, or the liquid collagen, and the Protandim Nerf2 study and what that means. And we're excited. We're excited for you to see it. So have a great evening. Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you all back here soon. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.